What if we ASMR this entire episode?
Yeah. So, ruined it already.
I literally ruined it already.
Hi. Welcome to Get Friends Who Can Do Both. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Mikey.
It's great to have you here for our ASMR episode.
This is episode 9, the traditional ASMR episode.
That's when all ASMR episodes drop, is on episode 9 of any
all
given
of them.
podcast series.
Of every given podcast series. It's like how wedding anniversaries, what is the first anniversary? Like garbage? No, I'm kidding. Paper.
It's paper.
And the second, I was trying to make a joke, and I was gonna try to make a joke, so I was gonna say garbage, but then I was like, no, Mikey, don't make the joke. And I was gonna say paper, and then I said garbage anyway.
Oh no.
It's Scariana.
Scariana.
What is Scariana, and why did you start saying it to me last week and
Okay.
now several times since?
Okay, so, as you know, I have a lot of Gen Z around me at any given time.
Oh, skibbity toilet.
That's Alpha. That's Gen Alpha, and we know this.
Okay.
And my good friend, Mora, I don't think she'd mind me saying her name, she's like elder Gen Z, I would say.
What year is that?
I don't know. She's like turning 26 soon. So.
Okay, Gen Z starts in 1997.
Okay. I can't do math like that, so
Okay.
I don't know. She's
She'd
like
be 1999?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so like she's like elder Gen Z. So she's cool with the millennials, but she's cool with the Gen Z as well. And she has introduced me over the past year to lots of like fun things that I like, fun words that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And she does have a tendency of putting Iana at the end of things, but mainly with scary. So it's like ooh, Scariana. Like ooh. Just when things are scary.
It's like
yikes.
Oh my god, that's like Scariana is in Frozen when Hans is trying to take over Arendelle because he was pretending to be in love with Anna, and it's scary because there's scary music. It was a bad joke.
I was like, wait, why did we go to Frozen as the example? I was like, but then I was like, oh, Anna. Oh, okay.
It was a really bad pun.
Yeah, it didn't.
No.
You tried.
I really tried, and now I'm going back to the ASMR. Traditional. Listen to us as you go to sleep.
You have to whisper into the ASMR, except for I don't know if it's gonna work. Because
my original sound is on. You should hear me.
I do hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great.
My eye is burning. I think I told the world about this last week, right?
Yeah, you and your burning eyes.
Maybe it's like a nervous tick now.
I hope
where,
not.
we do the podcast and my eye starts to burn.
Oh God, I hope not.
Could you imagine? I also hope not. That would be Scariana.
That would be Scariana. It's time for Mind Over Matter that one, you know?
Mind over matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally don't know what I was going to say.
Okay. Well, I have a little something to say that I think will lead us into our serious topic this week.
Say it. Serious.
Serious. I needed something to watch while I was eating my food before we recorded.
Okay, what did you eat? Tell the dolls.
I can't tell the dolls.
You can't tell the dolls what you were eating?
Because okay, fine. I'll tell the dolls.
You can't bring up dinner and then not say what dinner is. It's like a rule.
Because it's controversial.
Wait, this is so exciting. Now you have to.
I am famously plant-based, and I was eating tuna.
For those of you who are listening to the ASMR, not watching the podcast, both of our hands went over our mouths.
I didn't want to dox myself, but I had to say it.
Oh my gosh, that's okay. You're not like breaking a rule.
No,
like,
I know. I mean, like, literally,
you're allowed.
I am plant-based because of like health reasons, and I went plant-based a couple, yeah, over two and a half years ago, I would say, and I love it, and I feel great, but I think every once in a while, my body desires the omega-3s. It desires in a non-supplemental way. It desires the high level of protein.
The plant-based ASMR community is not going to cancel you for this.
I hope not. But this is generally a secret I've kept amongst friends. But I guess everyone in this podcast is amongst friends. But like, to be fair, my parents are also plant-based, and my parents also sometimes eat fish. They eat fish more frequently than I do, but for me, it's like kind of, I keep it around as like a last resort sort of situation, like very occasionally if I don't have something else to eat or, anyway. But
I'm sorry. I really derailed your discussion. I think it's okay. I'm not going to get you canceled.
Yeah.
I also am famously a carnivore, but
I know.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, I'm not eating chicken or beef or pork, and I'm not planning on that ever again.
Well,
probably.
you broke your plant-basedness to have your tuna, and while you were eating
yeah, while I was eating dinner, I needed something to put on TV, and to give a shout out to Good Hang. I don't think you've probably gotten to this episode yet, but there is a comedian that Amy interviews named Zarna Garg.
Oh, I'm not there yet.
But she opened for Tina and Amy on their tour.
I know I met her in the first episode.
Yeah, met her in the first episode.
She was there.
Yes. She's very funny. And they talk. And I had seen some promo on Instagram about this with her and Jonathan Groff, because they're in a movie together.
That's so crazy.
It's called A Nice Indian Boy.
Oh, I heard about that. It's based on a play. It's actually on my list of things to watch.
I actually started watching it. I am 43 minutes in. It's literally frozen. It's like frozen.
Oh my god, this is the second use of Frozen in this podcast.
It's
oh my god, there it is.
There it is.
ASMR Frozen. Scariana.
So I have like another 52 minutes left. So I'll watch that after we finish watching it after we record. But it's been very enjoyable so far, and I have laughed out loud.
Wow.
It has been very good, and it's super sweetie, and I just reminded me of just how lovely and how wonderful of an actor Jonathan Groff is.
He's so excellent.
He's so excellent. He's so lovely.
He's so lovely, and his spitting glands.
Yeah.
What are they called?
His
salivary glands.
Yeah.
And his salivary glands are so overactive.
So overactive. The relaxation in his mouth and jaw when he's singing.
That's so true.
Is it has to be next level, because it's just going everywhere. Incredible.
Unreal. I just saw him in Just in Time. I went 6 months ago. Not 6 months ago, it was the end of March. I saw Just in Time. And I went to, I think it's where I can now publicly say I went to the Invited Dress, because a friend of mine works on the show. And it was so, him singing, him playing Bobby Darin, singing, Splish Splash, I was taking a bath. I love that song. I don't know why.
It's a great song.
It's a great song. Didn't they used to do it on Full House? They had a Jesse episode, or an Uncle Jesse thing where he was Splish Splash, or am I crazy?
Maybe? Uncle Jesse sang a bunch of different songs.
He did sing a bunch of different songs. Sorry, I feel like I keep interrupting you with these crazy tangents.
No, it's okay. No, I was just saying, I just was Jonathan Groff was top of mind, but he is, a part of the whole of what we're planning on talking about today, which is the state of theater.
Which is New York. No, I'm kidding. We solved it. We solved it.
We solved
American
it.
theater is saved.
We saved it.
We saved it.
Yeah, no, just the state of American theater as a whole.
The theater.
The theater.
The theater. This was, well, as you people know, unless you live under a rock or you're just joining us, and either's fine. Okay, Patrick Star. That's a future callback. That's a foreshadowing. That's a call forward.
Call forward.
That's a call forward. You will get there. But we are both in the theater industry. We act. Lauren theater manages. I don't think I do anything except to act these days. No, I help my friends answer. I answer my friends' questions when they need emails sent sometimes.
Period.
I said I proofread a lot of emails sent about auditions. But earlier this week, I saw, which just closed on Broadway today, John Proctor is the Villain by Kimberly
yes.
Bellflower, and I got up the Wikipedia because I knew I wouldn't know any of these facts. And it premiered in Washington, D.C. in 2022 at the Studio Theater. I think I saw a show at the Studio Theater once, if I'm not super... Yeah, I totally saw a show at Studio Theater one time, the last times I was in D.C., pre-pandemic. But, and it, like, has had a little bit of a regional life. And I actually know someone who I did a show with who did it at his school. So colleges are doing it, amateur. And I realized that sounded so nasty to be like amateur, but I just mean like amateur production.
But that was actually part of their marketing strategy. I actually like heard about this. Yeah, so like it was kind of brilliant is the fact that like after it had its premiere, like they opened up like rights for it to only like schools, basically.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was only to schools because then it was like this show that would be somewhat educational, but also the fact that like these are like also it's age appropriate and like the characters and things apparently. I haven't seen it.
Themes depending on the school, like I hope it was only universities because it's not the themes are not appropriate for high school, even though it is about high school.
I do think that it was open to high schools as well. Yes, but I mean there are some, push the boundaries liberal high schools in this country that they're able to do crazy stuff.
That's true. My high school did cabaret and 14-year-old girls were like half naked. So,
well, there you go. But from basically the idea was that like, and I think that people really touted it as like a great marketing plan. I actually think I saw, what's his name? It was on his Instagram. He was talking about it. He's a producer. Anyway.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll figure it out. Anyway.
What did an anonymous producer man say?
He was like, it's kind of brilliant because you get all these kids who like do this show at their school and they love it and they have a great time. And then it comes to Broadway and you have these people across the country who are already fans of the work.
Yeah.
And then you already kind of have this built-in audience for this new show that you've got people who are going to like make trips specifically to see it done because they've been in it.
Yeah.
Which is not something that happens when things are on Broadway unless it's like a revival,
Yeah.
Like, and it's a very unique, it was a unique way of going about it, and it worked out in the author's, the playwright's favor, for sure.
It really did. I mean, it won no Tony Awards, but that's...
No, but the feedback I've heard everyone has said they loved it, that it was an incredible show.
I hate so much, like, I am a theater person, obviously, and I hate that 90% of the shows I go to these days... Especially, and I'm really in my straight play era. Like, I'm really in my straight play era. I love the musical theater, but I'm just like, put me in a play. Let me, like, act. But, like, 90% of the shows I go to, especially straight plays, I'm sitting there being like, it's so talky. When are they going to be done? I'm, like, thinking about going to the bathroom. I'm thinking about, like, what I'm going to watch when I get home. And I hate that. I hate that so much. And this... I think they advertised it as 100 minutes. It really was like 115, I think, in the end. But it was like, which is fine. It was so entrancing the entire effing time because, like, bombshells were dropped left, right, and center. Like, I was just like, I came out of there. I went with a very good friend who is also an actor, who also is like very much like a straight play, but like I think my friend who I went with has a degree in musical theater, but like was a straight play person, has I think mostly done straight plays in their professional career, but like is now like doing a lot more musicals, which is very exciting. But she came out, her like first words to me was like, now that was theater.
Yes. We love.
For those, I should probably say what John Proctor is the Villain is about.
Sure, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, John Proctor is the villain. If you went to any high school English class, you probably read The Crucible. And if you didn't read it, it's because you probably spark-noted it. And The Crucible The Crucible was written by Arthur Miller, not related to me. And he was alive during... I didn't think it was that funny, but I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate this. He was a playwright. He was known for All My Sons. He was known for A View from the Bridge. But actually, I think The Crucible is probably his most famous play because if you literally, like, if you didn't read it in the American high school system, I don't know what high school you went to. And it was probably not a good one.
I don't think
read it?
I don't think it was required reading in my school. I ended up reading it on my own when I was in AP Lit. My teacher had a whole list of books that we had to read off of and read a certain amount per like month or whatever to prep us for the AP Lit test so that we could and I pretty much read almost just the plays that were on there.
Oh, I believe that.
Because I was like, if I'm going to have to read all this shit, I want to read the things that would be enjoyable to me and I want to read and that will help me in the actual career in the major I'm going into. And so I read
that is sound logic. That also, for those of you who may be in school and who may be listening to us, as if we have reached that audience at this point, Gen Alpha. Plays are great to read when you have an option because they're meant to be performed in less than 2.5 hours.
They're short.
They are short.
That was another reason why I would pick them because I was like, exactly. I want to read the plays and it will take no time to hit my requirement with time I do not have. And I was like, looked at all my like classmates. I was like, you all are working too hard. Work smarter, not harder here, people. Like, let's take... So I was reading Arthur Miller. I was reading Ibsen. I was reading, like, all these, these classics that my teacher put on this list. I read every single freaking one.
We did that when I was actually... So we read The Crucible in Honors Language Arts 10. I'm not going to tell you the name of my high school, but that's what we read it. And our summer reading assignment going into that class was here's a list of like 20 books, read 4 and do like journal entries. I think you have to do like 4 journal entries or whatever. And I kind of did the same exact thing. Like I read All My Sons. I read Long Day's Journey into Night, which may be the worst play I've ever read in my entire life. Sorry, Eugene O'Neill. It fucking sucked.
Period.
Don't cancel me for that hot take. But anyone I know who's ever seen a production of Long Day's Journey into Night has been like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what else I read, but there were a couple other plays. And then I was gonna read Uncle Tom's Cabin because they do a whole ballet about it in The King and I, and then I went, it's too long, and I replaced it with like another play.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. Death of a Salesman we read in class. But whatever. Oh, he also wrote Death of a Salesman, Arthur Miller. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but I would say The Crucible is probably his most famous play. Am I crazy?
I think maybe to the general public. Like, I think when I think of Arthur Miller, I do oftentimes think of Death of the Salesman first, but also I think Crucible, for non-performers probably is the most well-known story. Though, like, in my brain, when I hear The Crucible, I have to every single time take a step back and, like, parse out the story because of being like, wait, which one is The Crucible? Yes, okay. Versus that and The Scarlet Letter. Oh my god. Well, because they both take place in Puritan New England. Literally. And I'm like, what? Okay, wait, what? Yeah. Okay, one is she's got the Scarlet Letter. She's an adulterer. She's an adulterer. Yeah, and then it's witches.
Yes.
Okay.
Which we also read, but the Scarlet Letter, obviously, it takes place before the Salem witch trials, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, too.
And we also read that in Honors Language Arts 10, and no fear, Spark noted it, and I read it all in plain English.
Period.
Oh my god, whatever, I got an A in the class.
So we did start on all this, though, because you wanted to tell people what John Proctor is the villain is about.
So John Proctor is the villain, but this was important background information.
True. Yeah.
This play, The Crucible, is about the Salem witch trials, and Arthur Miller wrote it in the middle of the Red Scare in the 1950s, when basically anyone who had anything to do with the Communist Party, which prior to the 1950s, as we know, was not seen as this like anti-American, anti-democratic situation, and then all of a sudden the 1950s, it was the 1950s version of getting canceled.
Yeah.
And so they did that, and he was like, wait a minute, like, this is just like the Salem witch trials, because literally anybody could accuse anybody with no evidence, McCarthyism.
Yep.
And they would basically get canceled and blacklisted, and a lot of people in Hollywood, I can't remember if Miller was blacklisted.
I don't know, but there was a long list of Hollywood people who were...
Yeah, and very few of them came back from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Lucille Ball was almost blacklisted but then Ricky, like, I don't know, did he actually say? I don't know. I'm getting this information from the Lucille Ball, Ricky Ricardo movie, Meet the Ricardos, so that could totally be wrong, because I know they like changed some things around. But I know she was actually an officially registered member of the Communist Party. From like the 20s or 30s or whenever the hell she signed up for it. But
for her.
Meanwhile, so Arthur Miller was like, let me write this play depicting the Salem witch trials. And very, very famously, Abigail Williams, who is written as a 16, 17-year-old girl in The Crucible, who was actually like 8 or 9 years old in real life. And Betty Paris, who I think Betty and Abigail were not cousins. Betty's cousin was I couldn't tell you. Mary Warren? I don't remember.
Couldn't tell you.
There's Mercy Lewis, Mary Warren, Susanna Walcott. I know all of their names. I don't know how they're related. But like, they accused like John Proctor of like basically witchcraft, right? No,
John Proctor is accusing people, right?
Oh, I didn't think John Proctor was because then they were...
Because he's a guy.
He is a guy.
Hold on.
I sound like a fucking stupid person now.
Yeah, let's look it up. It's just been a very long time since we read The Crucible.
So sorry, people. The Crucible, it's a partially fictionalized story. But he dies in the end, John Proctor, though.
A local farmer who has an affair with Abigail Williams. That's who John Proctor is.
Oh, and
he becomes the central figure in the trial, struggling with his own integrity and the pressure to conform.
But, like, something happens where he dies in the end.
I don't know. Let's look.
Abigail Williams, the main antagonist, she worked as a maid for Elizabeth Proctor. After Elizabeth suspected Abigail having an illicit relationship with John Proctor, Williams is fired and disgraced. Using her status, she accuses countless citizens of witchcraft, becoming one of the most powerful people in Salem. She does accuse people of witchcraft.
So it's John Proctor's wife who accuses people.
No. It's Abigail Williams who does accuse, and I think, shamed by an affair, he tries to reveal... He is accused of witchcraft. John is accused of witchcraft.
What?
Betrayed by his maid, Mary Warren. Yes, I wasn't a stupid idiot person on
No, but I'm sorry that I questioned you, but that's bonkers.
No, that's
I
okay.
really didn't think they ever accused men of witchcraft.
Well, they did, I guess. Well, in this story, they did. Which I think actually, because they really did hang him in the Salem witch trials. Yeah, he and his wife, so what happened was John and Abigail Williams, John Proctor, Abigail Williams, they fucked. John Proctor portrayed as in his 40s, 30s, 40s, something like that. Abigail Williams, 16, 17. After Elizabeth Proctor, Goody Proctor, found out about...
I do love the Goody Proctor of it all.
I do love that shit, and I kind of want to circle back on that, but because I have a really fun story to tell. But, so... John Proctor, after he and Elizabeth fuck, Elizabeth Proctor, Goody Proctor, fires Abigail from the household. Then when all this shit starts happening, Abigail and her friends accuse John of like bewitching them because they famously like have like seizures and shit like during these trials to try to be like, oh, he and Elizabeth are bewitching us right now. In real life, Abigail Williams was like 8 or 9 years old, and I think John Proctor was like much, much older. Like I think he was like he was 59 when he was hanged.
So he was a pedophile in real life.
He was a pedophile in real life, and but
so like he deserved it.
Yes, he has been. I believe because all the witch trial, everyone has been obviously vindicated, and because that's literally bullshit.
Right.
But Abigail Williams, the second after the witch, the Salem, nobody knows what happened to her. She like disappeared after 9 years old, and and don't like completely fact check me, don't completely fact check me, but like I'm just giving my best. So meanwhile, so that was that play. That's that play.
Yeah.
John Proctor is the villain is about a group of high school students in rural Georgia studying the Crucible, and very parallel events start to happen in the town. So like Shelby, who's the Sadie Sink character, she's been out of school for like 3-4 months. This was after but Sadie Sink wasn't it when I saw it, but whatever. Her character had sex with like her best friend's boyfriend. Then I don't want to like give too much away though, because it's really good. But then it's like there are like teacher figures that are like supposed to be like looking out for the kids, but like are a little bit more. There's a little bit more than meets the eye. There are a lot of sex scandals in town. The girls are trying to like start feminist clubs, and they're being quashed by the administration. I just like really don't want to like give a lot away.
You don't. Then don't.
Yeah, because it's really good. And then the whole show culminates in like them doing like final projects on the Crucible, which is like very, very well done. It's like what the Minutes tried to be at the end, but like not racist. If anyone knows what the Minutes is. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
No. They do like a Native American dance to end it, because the Minutes by Tracy Letts is all about like the removal of like a council member who tried to stand up, like a city council member who tried to stand up for like the Native American sort of like population representation, and he was just like removed, like very like backroom kind of shit. And in the end it ends in this like very strange like culturally appropriative Native American dance, which like these white people should not have been doing.
Okay.
And but I'm so sorry, I'm being very confusing. But it was just amazing.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad it was amazing. I do look forward to seeing it at some point in my life.
I look forward for you to see it too. But just like the state of American theater, like that's what it should be. Like it was engaging, it was captivating, it was like it featured a lot of like brand new talent. It was smart, it was witty, it was in today's day and age. Like I don't need to like I love a period piece as much as the next guy, but like I think that's how we get audiences to the theaters. Like people like us, you're never gonna have problems getting us to the theater. But like like John Proctor is the villain completely sold out. Like not that it completely sold out, but like it feels like it was completely sold out. I walked past because I was rushing something else that same day, and I walked past at maybe like 10:45, and the rush line, which probably would have opened at 10 at the box office, the rush line was like out the door and down the block for John Proctor as the villain. Like it is just so, I don't know what else to say about that, because I know we were going to like use that to talk about the state of the American theater, but I just think we need more relevant shows that really speak to public sensibilities.
Right. I think a lot of aspects of the current theater landscape, especially if you're looking at it from like the lens of like Broadway and things, it's become very commercialized. It's become very capitalistic. Let's make our money. We need to make our money back. Like let's like make this a surefire hit. And so then everything you end up seeing on stage, at least the past bunch of years, I think, especially coming out of COVID, no one wanted to take a risk because everything got like hit financially so hard.
Yeah.
You're looking at like new musicals that were like that are adapted from movies. Like that's like what you're looking at.
We're about to have our like third revival of Beetlejuice on Broadway, a musical
like,
that premiered in 2019. I think I know someone in it. Actually, but that's the story for another time.
That is that they're going non-union national tour as well.
Oh, maybe the person that I know is on the non-union national tour instead of on Broadway. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know them, but like,
you know, it's just kind of like when you do that, when you look at theater and art through the lens of trying to make money off of it, you're taking the individuality and the creativity out of it, because art is subjective. So there's always going to be a risk with the art that you make that people are not going to like it. Yeah. And that's just what being an artist is. But so much of the theater industry has now, in a lot of ways, in order to either survive or they've just become risk adverse. They will simply not take a chance on anything new and groundbreaking. Actually, the only way I'm really speaking to musicals here. I do feel like there is less of that in with the plays on Broadway, as long as there's a star at the front of the play.
I suppose. Well, like a lot of plays are also like most of them are limited runs. Mm-hmm. They're really at like the smaller houses, like the Hayes, the Friedman, and like I've seen my show. I'm like about to like literally go through my list of like Broadway shows that I've seen, and see like if any of them recently. I mean, I just saw Purpose a few months ago, and like I guess that starred LaTanya Richardson Jackson, who is Samuel L. Jackson's wife, but like I don't think she in herself is like a ticket seller necessarily.
Right. Yeah.
Felicia Rashad did direct it.
Yeah, she did.
I'm trying to look through. I guess I haven't seen a lot of plays recently. I saw English, that had no star.
Yeah, that did look good. I did.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I really would have liked to have seen that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, you think Good Night and Good Luck, star. John Proctor is the villain, star. Frickin' which Shakespeare one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Romeo and Juliet. Oh no, that was Othello.
But yeah, Othello. But Romeo and Juliet also stars.
Rachel Zegler, Kit Connor. Mm-hmm. I saw a Scottish play a few years ago, and that was Daniel Craig and Ruth Negga. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, even back in the day when I was like, there was the time period. Oh my god, I can't believe I never went and saw it. But I was just like I was so like, I think it was hard to get tickets at the time, but also like, I was just not, it wasn't on my priority of seeing, which now I'm like, I should have seen it. There was I want to say it was Waiting for Godot.
Oh.
It was Waiting for Godot, and it was like some other play too that was a 2-person show, I think, in rep. And also both actors learned all the roles, and they would switch out who they were playing.
Wow.
Hold on.
And Waiting for Godot is coming back, but it's with Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Bill and Ted, which I do love that movie. That I think it's a trilogy now. Bill and Ted.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. The Waiting. Maybe this happened right before I moved, and that's why I never saw it. Yeah, and then maybe it happened right before I got there. Yes, so, and it was like, and you're gonna shit yourself when you find out who the two people were.
Oh my god.
It was Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Oh my god, and it was Waiting for Godot, and what else?
It actually might have just been Waiting for Godot, and they just switched the parts back and forth.
They played Vladimir and Estragon.
Uh-huh.
Estragon.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And what about like Lucky and Pazzo? Like, were they other actors or?
I don't know. That's
literally a play about nothing.
Yeah, I know. It
That's
just
so
was
crazy.
like with those two icons. But again, stars.
That's crazy. That's what the Little Foxes did. I love the Little Foxes, for those of you who don't know. And the most recent Broadway revival, it starred Cynthia Nixon and Laura Linney, who would, on alternating nights, alternate the roles of Regina Giddens and Bertie Hubbard. That probably doesn't mean anything to, like, anybody. But I think it's fascinating. And I don't think that was the right move. I think Laura Linney should have been playing Regina full time, and Cynthia Nixon should have been playing Bertie. But, and I saw videos, and I agreed with that. I think it was Laura Linney. Now I'm like, quote, totally. But, like, I would love to see more shit like that on Broadway, though, where they're like, well, let's just play, like, whatever role we want. Like, I feel like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead revival, where Rosencrantz and Guildenstern swapped would be so cool.
I think that would be really cool. But again, all of that is to say, it's like all famous people.
It's all famous people, yeah.
Who, from usually TV and movies.
Because that's how they get people in the seats. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's, again, because it's all commercialized. Because, one, like, no one's willing to take a risk, and everyone wants to somehow earn their money back. Two.
Which makes sense.
And honestly, the plays I have heard were like, it's pretty much like every single play, I think in the 2024 season or something, made their money back.
Wow.
But plays are easier to make their money back on.
Because fewer operating costs. No orchestras they have to pay. Yeah, fewer production staff members.
Usually the sets are less grandiose. Yes, casts are small.
Usually a unit set.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They just have less costs. But that's the thing, is like it has become, like, the American theater has become such a means for those in charge to make money, where and then you add also on top of that once upon a time theater was the main entertainment medium in this country, and it was like, and like the songs that were written for musicals was the popular music of the day. It was what was played on the radio.
Yeah.
Like, it was a completely different time. Now we live in a society where, like, so much entertainment is at our fingertips, and no one has a fucking attention span anymore.
No.
So no one can sit and watch and spend like 3 hours at the theater without, like, being like, that sounds horrible to me. Because unless you have an appreciation for theater, and like just so many people ended up growing up in a household where, like, live theater was not prioritized, because they didn't need to prioritize it, because they had TV, they had movies, they had all these other means of entertainment. And then you throw in modern days of, like, everyone on their phones all the time, and short form video content and all that stuff.
Verticals.
It's like, yeah, it's literally, you got a short form video that's 30 seconds, and it's like still the average time someone's watching it is like 3 seconds before they scroll. And it's like crazy. And I'm like, I guess it shows I'm a millennial. I'm like, I usually watch things when I scroll a little longer before. I'm never like,
where you go. I don't even really do that, because I don't really watch, like, reels.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't
unless
do
you
that.
send them to me. I don't watch them.
Yeah, that's good. You shouldn't do that. I also used to not watch reels, and then my ex started sending them to me, and I would start watching them, and then, like, it devolved into, like, both of us would just scroll and send each other. Yeah, it was bad. And I still will scroll on the reels. I can't be stopped, but I try and be better about it. But anyway, it's like, that has become so much of our culture, and no one can stay focused for a long period of time. And so it's like, you can't sit and watch like a 3-hour Rodgers and Hammerstein anymore. People will be like,
but you should. I llove Carousel. It was a beautiful revival in 2018.
It was a beautiful revival. I very much enjoyed it.
Me too. I have to say, too, I am so sick and tired of people not being able to turn their fucking phones off.
Period.
Like, I'm going to patio poem this shit. Like, turn on fucking airplane mode, because I went to Buena Vista Social Club last week, and the number of people whose fucking phones went off in that, like in the middle of they're vibing, they're living their best Cuban lives, they're singing the Candela song, which you would know if like I played it for you, but I can't sing it and I don't want to be wrong. But isn't it like Candela, like isn't that something like that? And whatever. You would know it. You would know it if I played it for you, but we don't have those capabilities because we don't have a producer yet who isn't us. And
where are you at, Rich?
Where you at, Rich? I imagine you're bald, and have really cool hats, and like bucket hats, and I don't know. I'm manifesting Rich.
Okay.
And it's just like turn your fucking phones off, because like I promise you, like your text message will be there. Like
yeah, literally.
I promise you that.
I promise you.
And it ruins the experience. And I was also, when I was sitting at Buena Vista Social Club, I rushed that. That's what I rushed last Wednesday. I did 2 doche. Mm-hmm. I was very lucky. I got like orchestra roby. I was house left, which for those of you who don't know what that means, I was on the left side of the audience. And I got a literal row to myself. Nobody else was in my row.
Oh, wow.
There was a couple behind me, and the woman, I don't know if they were married, but the woman sung along to every fucking song, because it's all like, it's Buena Vista Social Club is based on a true story. It's all like popular Cuban music from like the mid 20th century. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, because sometimes I will be the person to turn someone and be like, turn your phone off, shut up, stop talking. But I was like, you know what? Like, she's kind of enjoying herself. Like, it's like, it wasn't that loud. It was like, it's like a jukebox musical, of course, since it's all this famous music. I was like, I'm gonna let her live her life. And eventually the woman next to her though turned to her and was like, will you please shut up? And I thought that was so funny. And she was like, I'm Cuban. I'm just like enjoying, like I'm singing. These are the songs that I know. I'm singing along. And then it became like
sing them at home.
Sing them at home. Sing at home. Mm-hmm. And it became like a multi-row fight. And the people behind that row also started getting into it. And for like 4 to 5 seconds, I was like, this is the most tense experience I've ever had at a Broadway theater.
Incredible. I
love it.
And it was
so, and I was like, it's people like you, lady who is sitting diagonally behind me, who shut up that woman, because we didn't pay to listen to you.
Correct. We paid to listen to the professionals on the stage.
You paid to listen to the professionals on the stage. And if you want to go home and I don't even know if they have a cast album out, but if you want to go home and you want to belt that song to your heart's content, please do. That is your stage. Like, Six is actually having a very special sing-along performance day, I saw.
That's nice, yeah.
And I know there have been screenings of Wicked where they've done the same thing.
Mm-hmm. It's like, shut up unless we say you can.
Literally shut up.
Literally shut up. I mean, that's like the my theater was just doing a jukebox musical, and a lot of our patrons are like, this is the music of our childhood, and da-da-da. And at the very beginning of the show, they do the name game, and at the beginning of the name game, they're like, you can sing, you can clap, you can stomp your feet, you can do whatever you want. So like, that kind of ends up like giving people the license. So like, it wasn't like egregious, but there was a couple of times actually where I like had to pop into the theater to do something during the show, and like you could like hear people like quietly like singing along, and it was like actually kind of cute. That's because so like precious. They were like welcomed to do it, and they were just like at one point I really heard them singing along with Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, a Carole King hit, which was originally not, it was what, the Shirelles first?
Probably. Yeah.
And
did she write it for the Shirelles? She wrote it for the Shirelles, yes.
And then she recorded it on her first,
God, we love Carole King here.
I don't know if it was her second, maybe? Yeah, we love Carole King here. Anyway, she recorded it on her solo album later in the 70s and changed it up a little bit, but, and made it slower than the original. But, it's, it was just like, oh my God, they're just having the best time.
And it's meant for, theater is meant for you to have an amazing time and experience.
Yeah. But I do agree that, like, if we have not welcomed you to sing, shut up.
Yeah. I I've seen this in some Broadway playbills, and I've also worked at some regional houses that have started putting like etiquette sheets in there. And I know Broadway playbills will do it now, where they are like, please do not sit. Like, if I should have like grabbed I didn't know I was going to talk about that. I was like, it's where it's like, please do not, like, we're so happy you're enjoying it, like, but please do not sing along with the performers. Like, it is just so, and it's actually very interesting because I also worked at a regional house last year, where this was the people's one access to theater. Mm-hmm. It was in a very, very rural town. The theater's actually since closed, and the Facebook comments are so savage because these people were like, this is how I saw theater. Like, how dare you take away my Broadway style musicals from me? And like, it was so funny. And all of us who worked in the theater feel so vindicated. Not that I was ever going back, but like and I did the curtain speech. And apparently these people were also, like, so frightened because, not frightened, but, like, this was their access to live theater, and they didn't know how to engage with live theater, which was so precious. Yeah. So I had to be like, this is live theater, like, please, like, the director was like, you have to say this, like, please applaud, please laugh, please cry, like, whatever. Obviously don't sing along, but, like, please interact with the performance, because, and then I always used to be like, your energy feeds our energy, and then, like, you get a better show. Like,
right. Well, and that is 100% my experience in regional houses as well, is that so many people across the country who have an interest in theater, who love theater, who are curious about theater, like, they might only have one place that they might be, if they're lucky, where they can go and see professional theater, and they simply don't know. They don't know the etiquette. The amount of times I've done theater where the audience has been basically fucking silent, and then at the end of the show, like, when you're, like, having to shake their hands afterwards, they're like, it was incredible, and I want to be like, hey, it didn't seem like you liked it, but apparently you did, because they don't know to, like, you know.
Not happy hands, though.
Good old happy hands. So there's also, like, in the way of the etiquette too that I've run into, is I've started putting this in my curtain speeches. So I literally say, I'd like to invite you all to take out your cell phones and make sure they're on silent, vibrate, turned off. Whatever's not going to make whatever's not going to make any noise during today's performance. And after you do that, if you would how do I phrase it? I basically say, like, and after you do that, if you wouldn't mind putting them away and not using them during today's performance, that would be greatly appreciated. And then I say, to that end, there is no photography or videography of any kind during this performance. I just feel like in the past, like, you could just say no photography or videography, but the use of the cell phone during a show, even if it's on silent, has become so prevalent, and it's so freaking distracting as an actor on stage, seeing someone's face lit up. I was like, I can't. We absolutely need to throw that in there, because people need more hand-holding nowadays with the etiquette, I fear.
I did a monologue play last holiday season. It was a world premiere. It was called The Christmas Show Must Go On at the Mile Square Theater in Hoboken. Shout out, love you guys. It was a monologue play. There were two of us. It was written as a solo show, but they just cast two actors. And so I was on stage by myself for 35 minutes, just, like, holding down the fort. And it's this, like, beautiful, stunning equity house that I love. But it holds, like, somewhere between 140, 160. I think it's a very, very intimate space. Like, their dressing room, they can't have, like, more than 5 actors in a show because they don't have a lot of space. But, like, it's a beautiful, beautiful house. But, like, it's not like a black box, but it's between sort of like a black box and a proscenium stage. Yeah. So, like, if the audience is raked downwards, and then the stage is, like, the lowest level. And when I would do this, like, I remember staring at people in the first or second row on their phone while I'm on stage giving my fucking monologue, giving you my entire everything, because I'm on stage by myself. All there is me to capture your attention. And because it's a monologue play, everything I'm doing is talking directly to the audience.
Right.
So I'd be like I literally would, like, stare at people's eyes and just continue delivering my lines until they got the fucking message and looked the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
It's so disrespectful.
It's so disrespectful. It's like, this is not a movie. I can see you.
And even during a movie, fuck you people.
No, literally. But one of my favorite things was back in the old days at the dinner theater.
Good old.
The good old. That had like 5 tiers, and it was a big space, but
Huge.
It was a huge space. But with the lighting, you could see people's faces clear as day in the first and second tiers.
Yeah.
Clear as day. It started getting fuzzy in the third tier. So, just from like the light from the stage, because it was a huge stage, so there's a lot of lights lighting it up. There was one time where I came out at intermission. I was serving in the second tier, and I came out. I had a big old group there, and I was like, I came out at intermission. I said to them, thankfully they weren't doing anything bad. They were enjoying the hell out of themselves during the first act. They were clapping. They were loving. They were dancing in their chairs.
Ideal.
Yes, they were having a great time. And I came out and I was like, I saw you guys out there. You guys are having so much fun. Oh my God. And they're like, oh, you could see us? And I was like, yeah, we can see you. They're like, we didn't realize you could see us. And we're like, we can see you. Almost like, and so what you guys are doing, we love to see. We love to see that. We love that you're like right there with us. But that's like, I said to them, I think a lot of people who come to see theater don't think that the actors can see the audience, but we can see you.
It's a give and take.
So like there are times, it's like, so that's why like when people are on their phones, it can be distracting or it can feel rude to us because we are, trying to have this great experience like we just had together where we're giving energy and you guys are giving energy and we're having so much fun, but like they're not in that with us and they're not reciprocating and they're like, oh my God, we didn't even like realize that. We never thought about that. That's so interesting. Like, thank you for telling us. And I'm like,
the more you know.
The more you know. It's
theater
like things
is a shared experience.
It's a shared experience. That's what makes it so freaking beautiful.
Which is why even though it's been dying for 2,000 years ever since it's been invented, it has not gone away.
No.
And like it not to be like this person, but like people love to not like live theater. But people love comedy shows. People love concerts.
Yeah.
People love... I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. You're at live theater.
Yeah. 100%. It's just in a different, like, structure in a way. Or it's a different style.
Yeah. Like people love to go see Taylor Swift and Beyonce and John Mulaney and like that's theater, guys. That's theater.
Yeah It's rehearsed. It's just the content style might be different.
It's a spectacle, which is not what all theater is or has to be, but like stand up is just one big monologue play. Like
true.
Like I don't know, with
sometimes some improv thrown in.
Sometimes some improv.
Yeah.
Murder mystery dinner theater. That's also theater.
Correct.
We have a background in murder mystery dinner theater.
I fear we do. But that's we love it because that's what brought us together.
It did bring us together. It did bring us together. Did I say it did brought us together?
I don't know.
It did brought us together. It did bring us together. I know we talked about a lot about the American theater.
Yeah. Do you want to be done?
Should we move on?
We can move on. Listen, guys, there is so much to say about the state of the current American musical theater or the American theater in general. There's a lot of things we could say, but that was just a little bit. Isn't that how every single thing we talk about is like we could talk for hours on this, but
my favorite thing though is if you're not a theater person, well, if you are a theater person, you know there are musicals and there are straight plays. And someone once said to me, and I'm sure everyone in theater says this all the time, does the existence of straight plays mean like there's the existence of gay plays?
Yeah, I've heard that one. And I'm like,
who hasn't heard that one?
I'm like, that's not what that means.
No, Angels in America is a gay play, but it's also a straight play.
Can be both.
It can be both. It can be both simultaneously.
Crazy.
And then I think the response to that, someone else was like, aren't those just musicals?
Period.
That's so crazy. Us straight people can like musicals. Us straight men can like musicals too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There's plenty of well, not plenty, but
I
have seemed to have worked with a large amount of
you found
straight
like
men.
80% of them.
Yeah, I don't know why, and we can end it off with this, but this is just my fun anecdote that, like, for those who know, the majority of the men in the theater are gay or queer, and we love that for them, and they make the theater great. Yeah, but there are still straight men in theater, and I don't know how this has happened, but pretty much almost every single contract, every single show I've ever done in the past almost 15 years, there have been more straight men in the cast than gay men in the cast.
That's crazy.
Every single one. I don't know how that has happened. I think I was actually shot my summer contract last year. It was a small cast. There were 5 guys for the in our core resident company for the 2 shows, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. There's 3 gay men and 2 straight men. I was actually gagged that the gays were outnumbering the straights, because that basically never happens in my career. So, I
don't think I could say. I mean, I feel like a lot of the shows that I do are like a lot of the men, like they're like half the men are queer often, and half of them are straight. A few contracts. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a lot of times it's been like heavy to the point of like there's like 1 gay man and everyone else is straight, or there's like 2 gay men and everyone else is straight, and like even in large casts, and I'm like, how is this happening? Don't know. That is my cross to bear.
Don't know. You don't have to bear that cross.
I don't, but that is just my weird lived experience as a professional performer.
Yeah.
Strange. I know it's very much in the minority. Bizarre. But
that every experience is different. I'm sure we'll talk more about the American theater in some other ways.
We always end up talking about it. It's like this podcast is unintentionally almost become a theater podcast in some ways.
When Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde. We're not talking about that again.
No,
we can if we want to.
We can't go. No, we have something else planned. So
no, we have something else planned. Should we? I can't. Do you want me to segue? Do you want to segue?
Yeah.
Should I segue? Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. So this morning I was on the PATH train between the city of Jersey and the city of
Jersey.
The city of Jersey, between Jersey City and New York, as opposed to Old York.
Right.
And I'm going crazy right now, and I am literally crashing out. And was that used properly? I didn't think it was.
You're not fully crashing out would be like you're like completely
agitated,
out of control, maybe crying a little bit. You're just getting a little loopy, I think.
I'm crashing out because I'm loopy. Like,
yeah,
I'm
you're
crashing.
Tired.
Crashing.
You're crashing, but you're not crashing out.
Oh God, Gen Z, what have you done to me? And so we're back at ASMR, and okay. I was on the PATH. Mm-hmm. I was in the PATH, and I saw the human male equivalent of hot Squidward. And I was like, and I couldn't stop. I was like, I texted Lauren and I was like, we have to talk about people watching, because I can't not stop. I'm a man who identifies as straight. I could not stop looking at this man who was hot Squidward, because I thought it was so effing funny. And I don't know if we have to like people watching, because I kind of want to like tell some fun stories of just like random people on the street like saying random things. But like, I love it. But like, I was like, I literally saw. So for anyone who doesn't know what hot Squidward is, I don't remember like what episode of SpongeBob that was. Did you ever?
I don't remember the episode, but like he gets chiseled. He's got like a crazy jaw. It's like he gets like.
Yeah, handsome Squidward is what they call him online, but I call him hot Squidward.
Yeah, I mean, same diff.
Yeah. You just Google search hot Squidward's coming up. He is like this, like his entire body is like, it becomes so fit. He's like, Squidward's this ugly ass squid. Like, sorry, Squidward's a fucking ugly dude. That was the forward, because I was talking about living under a rock and like Patrick Star. That's how I would. Okay. whatever. So he's this fucking ugly dude, Squidward. He's this fucking ugly squid. I'm not squid shaming. And he gets this like beautiful chiseled like face. He gets this like very like tiny mouth with these lips that are very like do. His eyes become like he becomes like very doe-eyed and like and he has this like like this Roman nose and his face is like very scrunchy and it's very statuesque. And I saw this, I literally looked at this man and it was like probably like, I don't know, maybe he wasn't of Scandinavian origin, but that's what he was giving me. He had like this like, dirty blondish hair and like the tiniest little face. Like everything was so centered like in the middle of his face.
Oh my God.
His eyes, his little, and like I've never seen a human man with lips that were so tiny. And he was just like hot Squidward. And
did he give chiseled jaw?
There was like kind of a chiseled jaw. This man was hot. It was almost as if like, it was like this man was like, and I want to be like as obviously as descriptive, but also as like respectful as possible. But you know, sometimes when like, you can just like a male's features are so, it's almost like, you know when like some men, their features are like so delicate, it almost looks like they like are made up, but they're not. And it's almost like almost like a female baby face, but it's a man.
Okay.
I don't know. This man looked like hot Squidward.
So he looked like hot Squidward, but like objectively from a non-cartoon perspective, was the face card giving? Like, was it?
I think that guy had a good face.
Yeah, like it was like is he objectively attractive by societal standards?
I think so. He was like 6'2" or something. Like guy had like those, you know, those like black boots that people just like they slip on. They have no like zippers or ties or anything. They're just like black boots that like people love to think. I don't think they're like that. That's not my vibe. But like it was just giving like hot Squidward face and like guy who like was like trying to like dress unassumingly but also like kind of knew he was hot shit. I don't know. I mean obviously I'm not going to take a picture of a stranger on the subway. Sorry, my arm's doing crazy things. Going to try to plug my computer in. And he was like giving hot Squidward vibes, but like in the way like he looked. But I obviously can't take a picture of a stranger on it. I don't know. Like I don't know why I looked at him and I was like, this is hot Squidward.
I love that though. How fun.
How fun.
Because every once in a while you do see people and you're like, why does this person look familiar? And then it clicks that they like look like a cartoon character. It's like, oh my God, it's a personification of like Shrek as a human. Or like, you know, like shit like that.
Guys,
like,
Lauren spreads her ass cheeks for Shrek.
I have been known once or twice, I fear. I have been known to be in a group chat with a whole cast and say nothing in the group chat for the whole run of the show except for literally one time. People start talking about Shrek because they're having a Shrek themed party, and the only thing I type is I spread my ass cheeks for Shrek, and everyone loses their mind.
They lost their mind.
They lost their minds. That was the only thing I said in this group chat for the whole like 7 weeks of the contract.
And Lauren didn't go to the party.
And I did not go to the party. Of course not. I'm just that cool senior, you know? I'm that cool senior who, like, well, she's not going to the freshman and sophomore party, but if she does, like, show up a little bit, like, she'll show up in her pajamas for 15 minutes and everyone will lose their mind and then she'll Irish exit.
Lose their mind.
Because that also, I did that in college, too.
Oh, my God. Mine's... But I don't know, that's not necessarily, like, people watching, but, like, it kind of is. And I always feel bad when I, like, stare at... Not that I wanted to, like, sit there and, like, stare at hot Squidward.
Right.
But, like, you also, like, feel... I always feel bad in the subway, too, when I'm, like, staring at someone. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, shit, I have to, like, look around the whole subway car. So if they catch me looking at them, they see that I'm looking at everybody.
Right. You're like, oh, and my eyes are just wandering.
And I'm not, like, fixated on hot Squidward. I don't care who you are and, like, what your sexual orientation is. If you're seeing hot Squidward on the subway, you're never looking away from hot Squidward.
No, because you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, literally. I get it. There's just certain people you see out in the world where you're just like, I can't keep my eyes off this person. I'm so drawn to them. And sometimes you don't know why even. But it's like sometimes it's just like I can't look away. And I know this is rude.
What do we think Hot Squidward is doing right now?
I don't know. Do we think he was like do you think he lives in Manhattan or that he lives in Jersey?
I think he lives in Jersey City because it was like early. It was like 9:40-ish.
Okay. But like it was going into the city.
He was going into the city.
Gotcha. Yeah, he probably does.
He probably does live in Jersey City. Yeah. He also got off at the same stop as me. So I was like, oh my God, Hot Squidward's going to think I'm following him.
Right.
Even though I like came up with this whole thing in my head where I was like, he's Hot Squidward. And he has no idea he's Hot Squidward.
No, of course not.
And like, he probably didn't even clock that I was like, that's Hot Squidward.
Probably not.
And the number of people, though, that I had to text when I got off that subway car being like, oh my God, guys, I literally just saw Hot Squidward was embarrassing.
But, you know, that's what makes you you, and I love that about you.
Thank you. But people watching.
I love people watching. It's one of my favorite things. I got the gene for it, the desire for it.
Oh my God, the people watching itch.
Yeah, from my mom. My mom loves the people watch. We, one of our favorite things we would do when we would go to Disney World when I was growing up, because yes,
God.
people, I did live in Florida. Yes,
You're
for
Florida woman.
a period of time we did have annual passes.
Oh my God.
So we would go all the time. So like a lot of times our favorite thing to do at Disney was to like people watch, because a theme park is a great
the
place.
Best place to people watch.
The best place to people watch. I even remember I want to say when I was in college. I've been to Carowinds like a once when I was in college because I went to school in North Carolina, and I also went to Carowinds once as an adult because I lived like 2.5 hours from there, and I had a friend performing there. Mm-hmm. But I remember specifically going to Carowinds in college with my college boyfriend, and at one point I just was like, he's like, what do you want to do at this point? And I was like, I'd like to just kind of sit on this bench and just watch people walk by. I was like, I'd just kind of like to take a time out and sit down and just kind of observe. And that's what I did. And it was great.
As you should.
Because like, people watching.
It's worth the price of admission.
100%. You just never know who you're going to get.
You never know. I didn't know people watching was like an activity. Mm-hmm. And when I learned about people watching, I was in Spanish class in the 7th grade. Mm-hmm. And we had a unit on things you do in the park.
Okay.
And one of the phrases was ver la gente, people watch.
Ooh.
Which literally translates to see the people.
Okay.
And I guess nobody in my class had ever heard of people watching and know what people watching was. So we came up with this whole, like, we insisted it was stalking. Like, we were like, our Spanish teacher could not get a word in edgewise. We were all these, an adult, like a 50-year-old adult woman is no match for like 20, 12, and 13-year-olds.
Right.
Like, no match. And we were all like, yes, it's stalking. Stalking. Why don't you just call it stalking?
Because
she couldn't get through to us.
Yeah, because you guys, when you're in middle school, you think you are right on everything. But yeah, simply not stalking, because there is such value in actually like observing other humans, and especially as a performer. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Observing other humans, seeing how other people move through this world, picking up on other people's mannerisms, their little tics, their characteristics, the way they talk, the way they walk. I mean, it's a fascinating study in the human experience. Yes. I love it.
It's so fascinating. And what kind of also gets me is sort of like so last night I went out to a friend's birthday party and then went to a bar after to meet up with some of my friends from the party and some other friends who didn't make it to the party. And which is okay. And this girl, and I was walking with a friend on the street to the bar, and this girl, and I know this isn't like people watching, but it's like random stranger encounters on the street. Mm-hmm. And this girl literally like walks out in front of me and my friend and me, that's grammar, like puts her hand in front of us and she goes, wow, you are both so sexy. And I was like,
oh.
So I feel like people watching and like interacting with strangers on the street are like almost one and the same to me.
Okay, interesting.
They're not. I will not be watching.
But...
I'm not. Mm-hmm. But it was like kind of like in the zeitgeist for me within the last 24 hours. And I was like, and I'm a huge fan. I will never forget. I'm a huge fan of the on-street stranger compliment.
A stranger interaction.
I love it. Only when it's like good though. Like if you're coming up to me to ask me to join your religion, the answer is no. If you are selling me Girl Scout cookies, I'm so sorry. I support the Girl Scouts, but I need to know you. Mm-hmm. Is that I don't know. I don't know if I mean like I support the Girl Scouts. I don't know what they stand for. But like if you are a Girl
You like their cookies.
I like their cookies. I stand for your cookies. Mm-hmm. And I don't stand for the fact that you change the names of your cookies. Because I want my Thin Mints and my oh my god, what are the ones that are like the shortbreads? Shortbreads, right? No, they don't call them that. I don't remember.
You eat the shortbreads?
Yeah, I don't like nuts and shit, so that takes out a lot of them for me.
That takes out a lot.
But I love a Thin Mint.
The Thin Mints, so
yeah, good. And I will never forget. I was the Ocean City Boardwalk in 2018 with a couple friends because a friend of mine was performing down there 4 years before I got my first contract there, and we were stopped by a stranger who was like, "Wow, all three of you have incredible outfits on," and I was like,
"Oh."
I am I will never forget. I'm a huge fan of a stranger compliment.
Can we normalize complimenting people that we don't know on the street?
Normalize complimenting people we don't know on the street.
Because literally, actually, getting a compliment from someone you do not know is like the actual biggest, like, endorphin boost. It can make your day. It literally can like turn your frown upside down, and it's like it takes no effort. It's literally someone seeing you and saying out loud the nice thing they were thinking about you. And literally. It's like, yeah, it can be scary to say something to someone you don't know, but like it, like, if you have something nice to say about someone, say it to them.
Say it.
I implore all of you, go out. I'm going to challenge you. Get out there and say something nice to someone you don't know. Because that you genuinely believe. If you're like out, you're out at the shopping at the grocery store or something, and there's someone, if you're a girly pop and you see another girly pop out there and she is just rocking a dress that you're like, she looks so good in that, that is so cute. Tell her. Tell her.
A1.
Okay. But like tell her, tell the person, like, oh my god, I love your glasses, People
love that. And here's your homework. Then tell us who you said it to and what it was about. Mm-hmm. And then we'll stalk them and ver la gente.
Ver la gente.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's also like, I love a compliment from people I do know and from whose opinions I respect. But also if I know you, I promise you I never believe you if you're complimenting me.
That's wild.
Like, not that
but that's kind of I can understand that mentality, though.
Yeah, not that I never believe you, but, like...
It's like, well, you love me and you're being nice and, like, thanks. Like
if a stranger says something to me and, like, I don't feel that, I'm like, you have no stake in the matter.
No, literally.
But, like, if you're my friend and I'm like, oh my god, like, and I make this, like, and I say this derogatory thing about myself, and then you're like, no, like, I firmly will not believe you.
Right. Well, and that's that's very valid, and I think there's a lot of truth to that, because when I went, and I might have said this on the pod already, like a few weeks ago now, I went to see a friend at a few hours away at a theater. And
yes.
Multiple of her castmates who I did not know, like the first time she introduced me to them, they immediately gave me these like insanely kind compliments that I was like, I was really feeling myself. Like one of them literally was like, oh my god, I saw you in the audience and I didn't know who you were, and I literally was like, who is that stunning woman in the audience who's giving, like, looks like Blair Waldorf? I was like,
yes.
Oh, I was like, excuse me, and then someone else was literally like, oh my gosh, your hair is so stunning, you look like young Joanna Gleason, and I was like, oh.
You were like moments in the woods.
Moments in the woods, honey.
You were like, in the woods. You were seeing Frozen, so this was the opposite of Scariana. It was like unscariana.
It was unscariana. It was the opposite.
actually why I brought that up earlier, because I knew you were going to tell that story later on.
You just felt it in your bones.
I had a sixth sense. I have a sixth sense. If you're a stranger on the street and you walk up to me, you tell me I have a sixth sense, I'll believe you.
Yeah, I'll believe you. Well, if there's one thing about Mikey is that he knows who I am as a person.
That's true, I do know.
So it probably was, it made sense. That was a good guess. I fear we do talk daily, so
God.
He knows all of my stories already, basically.
I do know every story,
except for every once in a while I do say something on this podcast that you are like, wait, what?
I know.
I like sometimes, the surprise and delight.
Sometimes I get the most horrifying texts with stories of things that have happened, and I'm like,
you're like, wait, that happened in your life?
Yeah. I'm like, what life did you live? You lived like a crazy life.
Me?
Yeah. Like, you have crazy experiences that, like, most people don't have.
Which is so funny, because I don't think of my life as being something that's, like, crazy that I've lived. Like, I feel like my life has been pretty, like, run-of-the-mill.
But you're, like, episodes. Like, you have, like, that's what you missed on Glee moments.
Oh, my God.
We really got away from people watching.
No, but isn't that how it goes, I fear?
Isn't that how it goes? We're watching the people.
We're watching the people.
Some people wash the people, and those are people who work in nursing homes, usually.
Oh.
They wash the people.
Mm-hmm. Sponge.
Lavar la gente.
SpongeBob.
Sponge la people. I don't know the Spanish word for sponge. Sponge the people. Back to SpongeBob. Hot Squidward is how we got here.
Yeah. This is where we've come back to the beginning.
We've come back.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite to see the people in their natural habitat and peep them.
I love to see the people in their natural habitat.
What were you gonna
say? Should we do our new segment?
Yeah. I need to think of something.
Oh my God, I thought of something.
Okay, good. Okay, so you're gonna start.
I have two. I have a real one and I have a fake one. Which one do we want to start with?
Well, introduce the segment to the people.
So the
first.
segment, which name I don't actually remember how I phrased it on the What Are We as a Society? I'm going to log onto our Spotify because I need to read what I called it because I don't remember.
Here, I can just look here.
Okay.
In the podcast notes.
Okay. In the podcast notes? Oh, yeah.
Did you put it in the podcast notes?
I put it.
Why are we not talking about this more?
Why are we not talking about this more? It's our version of I Don't Think So, Honey. We as a society,
why are we not talking about this
It's our version. It's like our version of I Don't Think So, Honey, but like instead of things that we want to like get rid of, it's things that we need to bring more into the forefront. It's positive I Don't Think So, Honey.
Yeah, and we didn't intend to steal this idea from them. It just kind of happens.
Well, it's the opposite idea.
Yeah, it is. But
okay, so my real one or my fake one?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm going to start with my real one. My real one is why are we not talking about this more? There need to be more public restrooms on the island of Manhattan.
Period. Yes.
There need to be. I went to brunch with my cousin this morning, and we went to brunch, and then we left the restaurant. We went a little walk around West Village. He does not live in New York. He was on a little visit. He lives in Colorado, and he was visiting. And maybe like 25, 30 minutes into our walk around after brunch, he was like, I need a restroom. And I was like, I've needed a restroom since the second we got up from brunch, and I just didn't say anything. And he was like, me too. And I was like, then why didn't we just go at the restaurant before we left?
Right.
Stupid people.
Right.
So whatever. We were walking in the West Village, and I was like, I don't even care where we go. I know all the public restroom places in Midtown, but I don't know any in the West Village because there aren't. There simply are not.
No,
there are not. None. And we walked by some burger place, and I saw, and maybe at this point it's like 12:30, and no, not even, because I had to be on the train earlier, so it's like 12. It's like 12. And I saw a burger place, a little burger place, like a counter with with a restroom for customers, and I went, I will buy something just so we can use that restroom. He got a $3 Diet Coke. Me, I bought a $10 milkshake.
Hell yeah, you did.
That was the most expensive pee I've ever had in my life.
Literally.
Why are we...
honey.
It's a privilege to pee. Why are we not talking about this more? That was my real one. My fake one is why are we not talking about this more? Hot Squidward.
Yeah, why are we not talking about this more? Hot Squidward. He is around. He's important.
He is important. He is a cultural icon. He is a queer icon, I think.
Yeah.
Squidward is definitely gay.
I think bi. So too.
I think Squidward's a queer icon.
I think so. I mean, I'm not a member of the queer community, so I can't really speak to it. But him with his clarinet, it does give queer.
It does give queer icon. Mm-hmm. I would say
you're queer adjacent. So
we are queer adjacent. That's what I have a friend who's always like, you're queer adjacent, and I'm like, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, we're allies. We're queer adjacent. Those are my I don't think so, honey. What is it called again?
Why are we not talking about this more?
Why are we not talking about this more? I promise I will remember the name of the segment that I named.
That you created.
That I created.
Okay, why are we not talking about this more? I have one.
Okay.
Why are we not talking about this more? I have not seen like any discourse about this online. And I'm like, there needs to be discourse about this because I need to engage because it's brilliant. The Hulu reality TV show, Are You My First?
Yes.
Oh my God. It is basically Love Island, but it is with virgins.
Another virgin has entered the villa.
Basically, it's actually incredible. And like a lot of the virgins are, it's not like, it's like most of them are like solidly like 20s and 30s virgins, like mid to late 20s and then into their 30s virgins.
It's giving Steve Carell.
Yeah, 40-year-old virgin. But yeah, so that's like, yeah, you can find a bunch of like 20-year-olds who are virgins, but obviously, like it's harder to find someone who's like 28 and is like, yeah, I'm still a virgin. Yeah. So it is, so that's what makes it even better. And they all have different reasons as to why they're virgins. Okay. And like half of them, it's like for religious reasons, and other half is because they're like, I have intimacy issues, or they're like, I just like want to have a good connection with the person, and I just haven't felt that desire yet with someone I've met, or like, you know, I know my worth and I know my value, and no one has shown themselves to be worthy of me. Like, it's like a full spectrum, and there's like multiple people on there who are LDS, LOL. But like, so it was like there were like, so there was like Mormons. There were also a couple. There's a guy who's like 32 who is like pretty Christian.
Wait till marriage.
Mm-hmm. Actually, there's a 34-year-old guy who was like a wait till marriage Christian, and he was like, believe me, I thought I was going to be married at 24. I never could have guessed that I'd be 34 and I'd not be married by this point. Like, this was not the plan.
Well,
but it's just, the whole thing is fascinating.
Man plans, God laughs. Okay.
Right. No, it's so true. Yeah. But the whole show is fascinating. It is so good. It is hosted by Kristen Bristow and Colton Underwood I think. Anyway, they're both around the tree. But they're both of like Bachelor and Bachelorette fame, but like Kristen Bristow has like, she was on Bachelorette or The Bachelor like a really long time ago. Mm-hmm. She has her own podcast now and all this different stuff. Anyway,
we all have our own podcast.
Yeah, right. Everyone does. Colton is like a guy who was The Bachelor, and he was like famously like the Virgin Bachelor. But I'm almost certain, I never looked it up, but I saw him and I was like, oh, it's this guy. I'm almost certain, because I'm not a big like Bachelorette watcher. Yeah. But I'm almost certain, like post-Bachelorette, like all this stuff, he came out. So I was like, oh, you're a virgin because you just didn't like women.
And they did like, period. And they did a whole season for him.
Yeah, but like he was in the closet. He
didn't find anyone.
Yeah, he was in the closet.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Yeah, so anyway, they host it, and they also do like the voiceovers like there is on Love Island, and like, but there's no money involved like on Love Island, but like the whole point is like to try and facilitate these like virgins who are like at a spectrum of being like, of having literal no experience at all with anything to having like done other stuff, just never fully had sex, to like try to like, people with socially awkward, people who aren't, like try and like make like real connections with each other and find someone where that would be the type of person that they would be wanting, having that they like willing to lose their virginity to.
Has anyone had sex on the show yet?
No, I finished it. Spoiler.
Nobody has sex.
No one has sex on the show.
It's literally the opposite of Too Hot to Handle.
No, like, literally.
It's opposite Too Hot. It's anti Too Hot to Handle.
Mm-hmm. So, but it was just a blast. I hope there's a season 2. And I simply just don't know why we're not talking about it. Especially because, like, right from the beginning, a couple forms that they, like, stay together the whole time and they make it to the end. And she is like the hottest girl there. Maybe she wears a little bit too much makeup, but like she is objectively like the hottest girl, and she like immediately is like completely like taken by this like nerdy stand-up comedian who's like,
I love that.
Yeah, and he's like, his name is Michael, and her name's Rachel, I think.
No relation.
No relation. But I mean, he also I think is Jewish. He looks very Jewish.
Oh my God.
But like, it's literally so. It's like so cute that like, because he literally was like, I saw. He told her later, like, he's like, I saw you walk in, and I was like, that's the hottest girl here, and there's no way she'll ever give me a second look. And he's like, the fact that like you're interested in me is like crazy, and I am so lucky. And like, it's just so cute.
How do they win? Do they win by having sex, even though nobody has?
No, there was like no real winners. It was like at the end there was like 3 couples that were still left on the island.
Oh my God.
That like then they had to decide if they were like going to commit to each other or not, and like that's how it ended. There was no money, there was no prizes, there was no like winning.
There's only the prospect of sex.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
I know, crazy. So that is my why are we not talking about this more?
Why are we not talking about this more?
It's a great one, and I really have enjoyed watching it. So
I know. When you texted me about that, I was like, "That's insane."
Isn't that insane? But no one online is talking about it.
No one online is talking about it.
Unless I'm on the wrong side of Instagram. But you like, they're always
you probably have to go onto Reddit. Maybe it's
Redditor.
You know where that show is probably very popular.
Where?
With the red pill incel community.
Yeah. The lonely ones.
The male loneliness epidemic that doesn't exist. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Because those are their brothers in red pill. I'm kidding. They're probably not.
Most of them were not giving that at all.
Okay, good.
No. Yeah.
Good, precious.
Mm-hmm. They were precious babies. It was a great show.
Precious.
Cool. Well, this was a great app.
This was a fun app. You learned about the Crucible. Mm-hmm. Hot Squidward. Hot Squidward lives in Jersey City now.
Thank God. I can't wait to go searching for him next semester.
Look him up in the white pages.
The white pages, help.
Do you remember the white pages?
Yes, of course I remember the white pages. And the yellow pages.
Me too. Every color page.
Well, just the
there
yellow
were only
and the
2
white.
colors.
Yeah.
The yellow and the white pages. Why was white like people and yellow? We should explore that in the next episode. They just decided
that. Yeah, we'll look it up.
We should explore that.
Okay.
What else did the good people of Good Friends who can do both land learn today?
We learned a lot, but you know what I'm learning is that we get to the end of every episode, and sometimes not even the end, and I have to pee really bad.
Okay,
and so
I'm
here, so we should probably wrap it up.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you for coming to our episode, and peace and bless.
Peace and bless. For legal purposes, everything was a joke.
For legal purposes,
we haven't been saying that one recently, but
no, we haven't. For legal purposes, everything we said was a joke.
Everything we said was a joke.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
ASMR episode. Over and done.